Okay, I think we can start, and hopefully some more people will join us. The webinar is being recorded, so we will be sending out the recording as well, so that you can look at the presentation later as well. My name is Givi Kumsadze, and I represent the AMS program at Fort Hays State University here in Georgia. And today we will have a presentation about the AMS program, Academy of Math and Science at Fort Hays State University. It's a pre-college program that is managed and administered by our wonderful presenters today, Sherry Matlock and Will Burns, who's the director of the program, and they are kind enough to give us a presentation and answer any questions that you might have. And should you decide to apply to the program, Education Center Leaf will be available to assist you throughout the application process. And of course, both Will and Sherry and the AMS team are very much involved in the student recruitment and the application process. So they will help us and guide us along the way as well. And now I will let Will introduce himself and the early college programs at Fort Hays State University.
Yeah, thank you very much, Givi, for that introduction. Before I get into my presentation, I do want to introduce real quick our assistant director, Sherry Matlock. I told her she could just wave. She's a very important part of our team, and so she is on the call today as well. And then I want to thank all of you who are listening, who have tuned in to learn a little bit more about early college programs at Fort Hays State University, specifically the Academy of Mathematics and Science here at FHSU. And so we will, and I'm still kind of admitting people as they come in. So we will go ahead and dive into the information. Before I get started, though, I do want to talk a little bit about just what we're gonna do. I know it's evening there, so I almost said good morning to everyone. It's 10 a.m. here, but thank you for spending your evening learning a little bit more about our unique and innovative program. But today, I'm just going to give a quick overview of our program. I know that Givi and Leaf has access to a much more detailed presentation, very specific information about our program. And so I'm not going to spend a ton of time going over, all of the very detailed information about our program, but I will give a quick overview. I'll talk a little bit about the benefits of attending our program, how we help our students, how we engage with our students when it comes to student life and the opportunities we provide them. I'll talk a little bit about where students live, which is the Residence Hall, Custer Hall here on campus. I'll talk a little bit about some alumni, just to give you an idea of what some of our students are currently doing. And then I'll highlight kind of how we are different from a lot of other programs here in the US and really programs around the world. We're very unique. And then I'll leave some time at the very end for some questions and answers as well. And so I will ask that as I give the presentation, as I give the information, that you do hold your questions until the end. Okay. I do want to highlight and point out the picture there on the right. I was in Tbilisi in early October. I got to visit Givi and his team there at Leaf. I know Sherry Matlock, our assistant director, who I just introduced, she was there last spring, and now she's going to be there again this coming spring. And it was such a wonderful city to visit. The people were so kind. The food was great. The sites were wonderful to see. And so I guess I want to say thank you to all of you who live in the city of Tbilisi for welcoming us, because it was a great experience. All right, so what is AMS at FHSU? So AMS is an early college program that allows 11th and 12th grade high school students to go to college early and earn college credit while they're actually earning their high school diploma from a U.S. high school here in our city. And so they live on our campus and they earn a high school diploma, but they end up getting a lot of college credit, which reduces the amount of time that they actually will need to complete their bachelor's degree later on. And I'll talk a little bit about that here in just a moment. Really, there's two options. It seems like one of the favorite options of our international students is the residential option, where they come and live on our campus, whether it's for 1 year or 2 years, but really they enjoy that in-person experience. And so the residential option that I've listed there, that is option one. They come and live on our campus, take classes on our campus at the university level with other early college students and also traditional college students. But they live in a very safe and secure residence hall here at Fort Hays State University. The other option would be the online option. We have had students in the past who have selected to do this. It's a very flexible option when we're talking about students taking online through our program. Online, you could either take classes for just 1 semester, for a full year, or you could actually complete our 2-year program all online as well. So if the in-person option, is not something you're interested in, we do offer an online option as well. Just a quick note, if students want to select the online option to earn the high school diploma, they would need to at least attend for 1 full year, their 12th grade year of high school, to actually earn the U.S. high school diploma online. Okay, so a little bit about where our program is located. We are smack dab in the middle of the United States, in a small, very safe, very welcoming community called Hays, Kansas. We only have about 25,000 residents in Hays, so it's a very safe community, yet it has a lot of availability to many amenities, shopping and fun things to do as well. As far as our program is concerned and the university is concerned, we've been up and running since 2006 and providing really great education to our 11th and 12th graders in high school since the year of 2006. Our enrollment averages just for our program alone is around 60 to 80 students total each year, okay? We have a very small and safe campus here at Fort Hays State University, and our classroom sizes are very small as well. And we feel like that's a really big benefit to our early college students, because it's a perfect environment for them to really get to know their PhD faculty members, whether they're online or even here on campus. You do get a lot of support and a lot of individualized attention from our faculty members. And so we do feel like it's really a perfect environment for our 11th and 12th grade high school students to come to college early. As far as the benefits, there's a lot of different benefits, and I always struggle to kind of bring it. Oh, I just got a notification. Let me see here. Okay. So I always try to, I always struggle to kind of reduce it down into just a few of the benefits, but really some of the main benefits of our program is you can earn a U.S. high school diploma. You earn an AMS completion certificate. You have the option of earning an associate's degree if you want to. And then if a student attends our program for 2 years, whether it's online or in person, you're going to earn 68 to 72 college credit hours that you can then use at your next institution. Some students decide to stay here at our university to complete their bachelor's degree. Some students will go to another university here in the US, and the majority of the college credit hours that you earn through our program will then actually transfer with you to your next institution. And so really a lot of our students are starting out at their next institution as maybe juniors at the college level, and will maybe only have about 2 years left. So that's a huge benefit. In fact, that's probably one of the largest benefits that I can point out. And one of the best benefits is that you earn college credits that you can then use towards your bachelor's degree wherever you decide to go. And if all participants could mute, that would be wonderful. Thank you very much. So like I talked about, you can reduce the amount of time and money that is needed to earn your undergraduate degree. Another really big benefit of attending and completing our program, again, whether it's online or in person, is after your 2 years of completing our program, you can actually earn an $8,000 scholarship to stay at Fort Hays State University for your next 2 years to complete your undergraduate degree. And then the last benefit there is we have had really great success in getting students into colleges, universities around the United States. And a lot of them are very selective universities. And I'll talk a little bit about that later on in this presentation. But our placement rate as far as getting students into colleges here in the United States with international students is 100%, which speaks a lot about our program and who we are as an organization. This just kind of highlights different areas that our students have gone into. Later on in this presentation, I know Givi will send it out. If you want to go back and push pause and use this QR code, this will actually take you to our website, and it will show you what a 2-year experience could look like depending on what you want to major in. We are a math and science academy, but we have students who go into lots of other non-STEM areas. And so I always like to point that out. Things like finance or business, just lots of different non-STEM areas. It seems like we always have a lot of students who want to go into law as well. As far as the support that we offer, there's a ton of support, a lot of resources here on campus. And so, just some of our resources that I'll highlight. We have free tutoring that students can access. We have a writing center that I know a lot of our international students will utilize as well. We actually have a student health center. So if a student is not feeling well, they can actually go over, see a doctor on campus and nurses and receive healthcare through our services there. And then as far as other resources, you can see the long list there. We just give a ton of individualized support to our students. And actually, Sherry does a lot of this when it comes to advising, helping students prepare for the ACT, SAT, communicating with parents about grades and what they're currently working on. And so we're very involved, and we provide a ton of support to our students. Student life. I'm going to show you some pictures here in a little bit of some of the things that our students are currently doing and what they've done in the past. Our students can be involved in lots of different clubs, activities, competitions. There's special programming that our staff puts on for students, whether it's field trips, holiday activities, cultural events. We really try to immerse students into the culture here in the US. And so they have a great opportunity to do that. And then we also provide a lot of travel opportunities. And again, I'll showcase just a few of those. And actually, here's the slide that does show a few of just the past few years of some of the things we've done. Mammoth Cave National Park. We've taken students to the Bahamas in the past, University of Tulsa for a research trip. We've gone to Ireland the past few years. And then just last spring break, I took a group of students to the Grand Canyon and to a variety of other places in the American Southwest. And I'm actually currently just getting ready to schedule a trip or to plan a trip to Colorado, where I'm going to be taking a group of students there over spring break in the spring. And so I know students are looking forward to that trip. A lot of times we will actually pay for transportation and for lodging. And so the costs are pretty minimal for students when we do travel and when we do take them on different experiences. So this is Custer Hall, the picture that you see. This is the residence hall that our early college students live in. So this is where our AMS students live alongside our CAMS students who are Kansans. So they live with domestic students and other international students from around the world. It's a very safe and secure environment. The building is locked. And you have to have special access to get into it. There's lots of other safety and supervision that occurs. Curfew checks. Our office, so where I'm at currently, is actually in this building. Our office and our staff are available to students. We actually have an on-call phone system as well. So it's a very safe and secure environment, which I know parents who are on the call, I know you always like to hear information about safety and supervision. You know, if you're going to be sending your student across the Atlantic Ocean, you want to make sure that they are going to be cared for and that they're safe. And that is always our very number one priority, is to take care of our students while they're here. These are just a few pictures to highlight the residence hall. Again, there's a picture in the upper left-hand corner of Custer Hall. In the middle, there's a picture of, what a room typically looks like. They have different variations, different ways that they can kind of put their beds. But it's kind of a standard residential hall room on any college campus within the United States. We actually allow them or not allow them, but they have the opportunity to use our game room, our media room, and then we actually have free laundry facilities as well. And so that is in our building and is only available to our AMS and CAMS students here in Custer Hall. As far as just showcasing some of our recent graduates and some of our alumni, and all of our students honestly could be highlighted. We have so many wonderful students who go on to do many great things, but these are just a few students who have recently graduated and a few alumni that I do want to highlight. So Ellie Boltina just graduated last spring. She was very proactive and was very interested in creating a linguistics club here in AMS and CAMS at Fort Hays State University. So she created our CAMS and AMS linguistic club, but then they competed on a regional level and then on a national level. And Ellie actually placed in the top 5 nationally. So throughout the United States, she placed in the top 5 in the linguistics club competition. So that speaks very highly of her and her ability. She presented at several professional conferences over her research that she was doing while she was in our program. And Ellie is currently attending MIT in Boston. And she actually Zoomed in with our students the other day to talk about her experience here and also talk about her time so far at MIT. So just a wonderful student. This is Sunggu Lee. He is from South Korea, and he just graduated last spring as well. Sunggu is currently attending the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, majoring, I believe, in computer science. Just a very gifted, talented young man. He participated in our VEX robotics team while he was here. Our VEX robotics team was actually made up of Kansas students and international students, and they competed nationally at the National VEX Robotics Competition in Orlando, Florida, where they placed third against other colleges and universities. So they were not just competing against other high school students, they were actually competing against colleges and universities, and still were able to place third in the nation. One really fun fact about Sunggu, which I always find amazing, is he created a video game that has been picked up by Nintendo Switch and Android for purchase through different game and app stores. And so I always forget the name of the game, but that's pretty incredible that he was able to do that and sell his video game. So very cool. Georgia Elliott. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some alumni now. Georgia graduated in 2019. She presented research at quite a few different conferences, national conferences even, with her faculty member that she did research with. She actually won several awards for her research in biology. And what's cool about Georgia and a few other of these alumni that I'm going to highlight is that Georgia actually stayed at Fort Hays State University. She got that scholarship that I talked about. She stayed at Fort Hays State University, finished her bachelor's degree and then her master's degree in biology. And she is now attending Texas A&M University, working on her PhD in biology. And so she's one that actually keeps in touch with us pretty regularly. And she is, we're working on getting her scheduled to talk to our students next spring about her PhD journey at Texas A&M University. Eugene graduated in 2020. One thing that I like to highlight is she was very big into music, and she played the violin. She was a member of our university symphony. And so it's not all just about math and science and you know, your coursework. We have lots of students who do things like marching band, or like what Eugene did, the symphony. So if you like music, we do have opportunities for you as well. What's cool about Eugene, one thing that I always like to talk about is she actually attended and presented. So she was selected to attend and present at the Harvard Science Research Conference in the fall of 2019. And she traveled there and did very well and represented our program very well. We're very proud of her for that. Her research while she was here, she was doing research in biomedical, in the biomedical field. And then also she participated in electric car research. And she just recently completed her pre-dental program at the University of Pacific on the West Coast. And so I know she's now just waiting to hear back from a few schools about getting into her dental program and becoming eventually a dentist. And so I know that she'll be successful in that area. Brady Stevenson is one of our Kansans who graduated in 2019. He was very active in our Student Government Association, Custer Hall Council. He did research in a variety of different areas: business, geoscience, electric car research. He is another one who stayed at Fort Hays State University, pretty much had all of his schooling paid for his bachelor's and his master's in finance. And now he works for Koch Industries, which if you're familiar with Koch Industries, it's $1 billion industry or $1 billion company, and he's doing rather well. Jason Park graduated in 2018. Wonderful when it comes to computer science. He won quite a few different hackathons. He was selected to compete in the MIT and Harvard hackathon even, presented his research in different places. He then went on to attend Georgia Tech, and he now works as a software engineer for Google. You know, that little known company, Google. And so it's pretty amazing to see that he's working there. and doing well. And last but not least, we have Morgan Michener, who graduated in 2016. Again, very active in our program, completed her master's degree from Fort Hays State University at the age of 21. And she works as an epidemiologist for Johns Hopkins University. Again, that's just a small comparison or a small showcase of what our students are doing. I could highlight many, many more. We've just had great success in helping our students get to their final goal and get to their dream job. I'm not going to talk too in depth about this, but this just gives you an idea, kind of a comparison chart of who we are compared to other maybe high schools and high school programs within the United States. You know, typically we have kind of traditional public high schools available, STEM high schools, maybe early college high schools, but there are very, very few programs like ours that offer college credit, offer a true residential experience where you're living on a college campus, and our completion rate, our college placement rate, you just don't find that across the United States. And so we have a lot to offer to students. As far as estimated costs, because I'm sure some of you may be sitting there thinking, well, this sounds great, but what is the cost? What does that look like? And so for the estimated cost, you can see it broken down here by 1 year of attendance in person. That's kind of the first box that is shown there. And this is based off of 15 credit hours per semester. So each semester, if you're taking around 15 credit hours, you're going to pay just under $8,000. Now, again, I want to remind you that those credits can then be transferred on to your next university. And so you're getting a head start in college and reducing the amount of time it takes to complete your bachelor's degree, okay? Of course, if you're attending in person, there are some room and board fees for living in Custer Hall, and then for having a meal plan where you're provided breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. That's just right around $4,200 per semester. So your total cost for a year in tuition, fees, and room and board for an entire year is right around $24,000 US, which honestly, if you look at other programs across the United States, especially on the East Coast and West Coast, some of those programs for the same types of services, and maybe you're not even getting college credit hours, some of those programs are $50,000, $60,000, even $70,000 US for just 1 year of attendance. So we feel like we have a great program at a great cost for students and parents. Now, if you're looking at attending, let's say 1 year online, it is around $529 per credit hour. So if you're taking 15 credit hours online, let's say for 1 semester, again, you're just under that $8,000 mark. Of course, since you'd be staying and studying in Tbilisi or in the country of Georgia, you would not have the room and board fees that go along with the in-person attendance. I will point out that our online option is not synchronous. It is asynchronous, meaning you do not have to be up at odd hours of the day trying to study and listening to online lectures from a faculty member, okay? Now, having said that, our online classes are still very engaging, and faculty members do often communicate with our students who are taking classes online. So that is pretty much the presentation and the information that I wanted to share with everyone today. I know that I wanted to make the presentation pretty brief, and so I apologize if I talked quickly, but like Givi said, we have recorded this presentation, or we are recording this presentation, and we will send that out to everyone. But I did want to open up a little bit of time for those of you who may have questions. And so if you do have a question, feel free to push unmute. And if you want to turn on your camera, you're welcome to do that. And I'm happy to answer any questions or to clarify any information.
So, excuse me. We had one question in the chat from a 12th grader who was interested if this program was available to him, which I answered in the chat already. So, but I'll repeat the answer. The program is for 11th and 12th graders. So high school students who will be attending Fort Hayes in the 11th and 12th grade. So if you're already a 12th grader, it is late for you to apply for this program, but Fort Hayes State University as a university is of course available, and you can consider it as an option. While other attendees are thinking about a question, please don't hesitate to ask any question that you might have regarding this program. But I wanted to ask you about the different clubs and activities. Do they all overlap with the university, with Fort Hayes? Are they all separate? Or are some of them overlap and some of them are separate, meaning I think her name was Eugene, like when she was part of the Fort Hayes State University symphony, did she participate in that with university aged students?
Yeah, that's a great question, Givi. And the answer to that, what's really cool about our program is that since we're located on a college campus, our students are technically university students. And so they are allowed to participate in any club or organization that the university offers. So Eugene, for example, who played in the Fort Hayes State University Symphony, was playing with traditional college-age students in our university symphony. And so that's what really makes our program unique, is that you're a high school student in the 11th or 12th grade living on our campus, but you're fully immersed into the college atmosphere and environment at an early age, and living on a college campus. And our university actually offers, I believe it's over 200 different clubs and activities. A lot of our students will participate in things like astronomy club, being out here in Middle America, and in a rural setting. We actually have a really great opportunity for students to view stars and to view planets. And we have a planetarium, an observatory deck on one of our buildings here on campus. And so students will actually go up there and view stars and different planets and things like that. Another club and activity that students participate in is our pre-medical club, where it's a club focused on students who want to go into the medical field to maybe become a doctor someday. And they do a lot of different activities and even workshops to help prepare students so that they can kind of build their resume to help them get into medical school. And so we have a variety of different clubs and activities here on campus. Other questions from participants? Like Evie said, don't be shy.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Thanks for sharing the information. You have answered very comprehensively, Mr. Will. Thanks also for introducing the successful students, because they have motivated me. And I wonder how to register for your program, because I really want to.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. And I appreciate the fact that, me discussing or talking about some of our alumni, that helped to kind of motivate you. I always love to kind of brag about our students and all the wonderful things they've done. And so to answer your question, the best thing to do is to get in touch with Givi and the staff members at Leaf, because they will help guide you through the application process. And they can even help maybe set up a meeting between the two of us to where we can talk a little bit more in depth about what your goals are and what you want to do in your future, because that's important to us as well. We want to make sure that we are helping you to achieve your dreams and your goals in life. But I would say get in touch with Givi and at Leaf, and he will help coordinate the application process.
Yes, so Leaf will be able to assist you throughout the whole application process all the way through, and you can contact us and learn about the details of the whole process, what you need to prepare, what tests you might need to take, what documents you need to have ready for your application. You can also here in the chat send me your email address. So we will also have your contact information on record, and I will also here in the chat put for everyone in the chat so that everyone can see Leaf's Facebook page as well as the contact page from the website. And yeah, you can use kind of any medium to contact us, whether it's email, Facebook message, or a call, and we will assist you with the rest.
Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope to be a part of your program as soon as possible.
Thank you very much for your interest and engagement. So yeah, you can leave me your contact information here as well, or you can contact us later. We also have a question in the chat. This person is saying that their microphone doesn't work. So does the campus have healthcare nearby in case of something that's happening? I joined late by 20 minutes. I don't know if they have talked about this topic already.
Yeah, so that's a very good question, and the answer to that is yes. We do have medical and healthcare services located actually here on campus. We have a building called the Student Success Center, and on the 3rd floor of that building, we actually have a health clinic that is staffed by certified nurses. We have a doctor, a medical doctor on staff as well. And so anytime a student may need, let's say you get a cold or the flu, you can go to that building and they will help get you healed up and feeling better. And so that's a really nice service that our campus does provide. If it's something more urgent or maybe more severe, our staff also helps with that and can get you to the medical services here in our community. We have what's called Hayes Medical Center, which is a large hospital here in Western Kansas. We're kind of a medical hub where a lot of surrounding towns and communities come to Hayes Medical Center for medical procedures of any sort. And so yes, we have those available in our community and on our campus.
Great, and there's another question in the chat. Is there any competition to get grants for this program?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's a question that I know typically comes up in these types of presentations. So at this time, we unfortunately do not have any scholarships or grants for our international students. That is something we are working towards, and hopefully we can add that in the near future, but at this time we do not. Now, I will say there are some other financial opportunities when it comes to scholarships once you complete our program, and if you decide to stay at Fort Hays State University to complete your bachelor's degree. I mentioned it earlier in the presentation, once you complete our program, whether it's for 1 year or 2 years, you are able to receive an $8,000 scholarship spread out over 2 years after you complete our program, because typically students who complete our program will only have 2 years of their bachelor's degree left to complete. So you get $8,000 over 2 years, and then you're also eligible for the ACT or SAT scholarships that our students receive by attending Fort Hays State University. So some of our students in the past who have stayed at our university, they've attended CAMS or AMS for 2 years. And then after they leave, they actually almost don't have to pay anything to complete 2 years, the remaining 2 years of their bachelor's degree. So there's some financial benefits down the road, is what I always say, after you complete our program.
All right, thank you. Well, is there any other question? Because I have another one. Let's see, nothing new in the chat.
Hi, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
If we take online option, what is the timing of this hours? Can they do it together with the school over here?
So that's a very good question. So our online course offerings are asynchronous. And so that just means that students do not have to be on their computer listening to, a live lecture from a faculty member at, strange hours of the day. And so a lot of it is kind of based on independent work. And students, a lot of our online students will work from their home on the classes at whatever times are convenient for them, and what is best for their schedule. Now, even though I say it's independent, there's still a lot of support from our staff. We would require some weekly check-ins with Sherry Matlock, who is our assistant director, and we would be monitoring, their grades and talking to the students about how much they have completed, what homework they have, those types of things. And of course, the faculty member of the courses that they're taking, the faculty member would also be checking in with them and making sure that they're being successful in the class.
Oh, thank you. Great.
Oh, Givi, it looks like you're muted again.
Yeah. So one question or one thing that I wanted to kind of elaborate on. What does the process look like of transferring those credits to the desired institution? I'm sure it's much more straightforward with Fort Hays State University if you end up, staying and continuing your university at Fort Hays. But what if you're going to MIT? How does that process look like usually in terms of transferring all of those credits, or most of those credits to the desired program or university?
Yeah, that's a great question, Givi. So students who are in our program actually will have 2 transcripts, official transcripts. They'll have an official high school transcript from the school that they are duly enrolled in while they're here. And then they'll have an official Fort Hays State University transcript. And so we will help students send both of those transcripts, and it's really a rather easy process. Both of the processes happen online. So the student just goes online, puts in the location, the address where they want the official transcript sent from Fort Hays State University. And then our registrar's office here at the university mails it or even sends it in a safe electronic way to that university. So, we've had students who have transferred their credits to MIT, University of California, Berkeley, so UC Berkeley, Caltech, Boston University, University of Chicago, University of Florida. I mean, all over the United States, we have had very good luck with students transferring their credits onto their next institution.
Great, thank you.
I've had some very good questions. Any other questions?
Yeah, so
I have one question. You said that you're helping us to pass the SAT exam, and I'm interested, is that for free?
And I want to make sure I am understanding the question correctly. Are you talking about the ACT and SAT?
Yep, yes.
Once you're here? Okay, okay. So the exams are not free. And that's because they are, you know, the ACT, SAT are national standardized tests. But we do have.
I think the question is if the preparation itself is free and part of the, I guess, program.
Yes, yes. So we have a lot of ACT and SAT prep books that our students will utilize, and those access to those are free. And so we do have those resources. We have held a few different times now workshops where we've brought in kind of regional presenters to talk to students about strategies and how to best, you know, approach the ACT or SAT. And so that there is a little bit of a cost for that for students. We try to help kind of minimize the cost for those workshops, but we do have opportunities to help you prepare for those standardized tests.
Thank you very much.
Okay, if before we finish, there are some more questions, please ask away. I just wanted to like make a comment to make sure we highlight the fact that the program is highly competitive. As all of you saw the profiles of current students as well as alumni and the achievements they had when entering the program, during the program, and the achievements they have after ever since graduating. So it's I think it's an elite level program that attracts and teaches some of the brightest minds in the STEM field at a high school level from all over the world, as well as the US. And excuse me, it's a great opportunity for some of these bright students to actually learn what it's like to be in the college environment, at the university environment earlier on, because it won't be just saving time in terms of finishing the bachelor's degree earlier because you received so many university credits, but it's also kind of maturing earlier and being ready for the professional life or the continuation of their studies at a higher degree level, more kind of secure and better informed when they, you know, approach their next steps. So I think it's an important advantage that the students of this program get.
That's a really good point, Givi, and I'm going to add a little bit more to that. So one thing that I did not really talk much about is the networking that is involved and that happens even at an early age when you're in our program, because you are working closely with our PhD faculty members. Students really get to know their faculty members. You know, we have smaller class sizes, and they can be used as resources when it comes to, you know, getting future scholarships getting into your future institution after you leave our program, or maybe even getting a job down the road because they're connected with other individuals throughout the United States and really throughout the world. And so that's something that I probably should highlight more and talk more about because our students, our past alumni who have talked to me have always talked about the fact that they were able to kind of open doors in their professional life due to knowing somebody here at Fort Hays State University and through our program. So that's a really important part to point out.
So we have one question in the chat. I'm in the 7th grade, and is there any preparations for lower grade students?
Yeah, so honestly, what I typically tell our 7th and 8th graders who are curious about our program and want to know a little bit more about how to best prepare for entrance into our program, one of the best things that you can do is immerse yourself even more in the English language. That's really important because one of our main criteria is English proficiency. And when I was in Tbilisi visiting high schools and attending the college fair there, I was so impressed with all of the students I met and their English proficiency. So I have no doubt, even as a 7th grader, you're already probably working on that and becoming better at the English language. But that's one thing that I would recommend. And then the other thing that I would recommend is working on just becoming even more independent, and working on skills and strategies that you will utilize here. So things like time management, keeping yourself organized, those types of things are very important in our program because it is for mature, responsible young adults to come and study, college early. And so those are important. And then, of course, since we are a math and science academy, we've had lots of students who have gone on to do other things other than math and science. But since we are a math and science academy, I guess the final recommendation that I have is to, if you can take some additional math and science courses, just to familiarize yourself more with terminology, that would be a good idea as well.
Yeah, and what I can add to that, being a 7th grader and being already this engaged and interested in study abroad opportunities, this is I think a best time for you to start preparing for that. So by the time you reach 10th grade, when you should apply to the AMS program in this specific case, you are one of the strongest applicants there is, because you have 3 years ahead of you to prepare to improve your English proficiency, to improve your math skills, kind of improve your knowledge in the STEM field, and then try to apply to AMS program, I think, with amazing chances if you start now.
Yeah, I would agree. And the other thing that I probably should have added is to stay engaged with Leaf and with Givi and his staff. Make sure that you're staying connected with them over the next few years, because they're our very trusted partner in that region and in Georgia specifically. And so by staying connected to them, you're staying connected to our program. And I agree with what Givi said. Good for you as a 7th grader to already be thinking about your future and what this program could mean for you.
Absolutely. So Ani is asking, does this program work for 11th grade? Yes, this program is intended for 11th and 12th graders. So when you apply, you're usually in the 10th grade. And then as you transfer to the 11th grade, you travel to the US and attend Fort Hays State University, the AMS program for those 2 years, 11th and 12th grade. And as Will mentioned during the presentation, there's an opportunity of taking 1 year online, for example, and then having your 12th grades on campus. But usually the way the program happens is you spend 2 years on campus at Fort Hays State University as an 11th and 12th grader.
Yeah, and I'll add a little bit more to that as well, because that's a question that comes up regularly. You know, if you are currently an 11th grader, we actually in the past, we've had students who have found out about us in the 11th grade. And obviously you wouldn't be able to attend probably for 2 years. And so the question we get is, if I'm an 11th grader, can I come for just 1 year as a 12th grader to on-campus and in-person learning? And the answer to that is yes. If you're a current 11th grader and you want to just come for 1 year for your 12th grade year, we can help make that happen as well. We've had several students in the past who have done that, and they've been very successful.
Mr. Givi, I have a question for you. Where are you studying now, and were you a member of this program?
Oh, where am I studying now? Was that the question? I've graduated quite a long time ago already, but my educational experience spans 2 universities. In the US, I attended Emory University, Goizueta Business School, and as part of an exchange program as a junior in college, but I graduated here in Georgia, Caucasus School of Business, and I'm in charge of an educational company, which includes Education Center Leaf, and I'm in charge of representing the AMS program and making sure that all the prospective applicants, such as you are, get the immediate attention and the best service in terms of college counseling should you decide to apply to the program. So no, I did not participate in the AMS program. I'm not even sure if it was if it existed when I went to college, but I've been in this industry for more than 11 years already, helping students apply to different universities, different schools, summer camps, and I've fortunately formed many good partnerships with different institutions. And I think AMS is one of our kind of top offerings and partnerships that we have in terms of pre-college programs and providing opportunities to some of the brightest high school aged students. But thank you for the question.
Thank you. And also, my English level is B2, and is it good or?
I would say it's quite good. I think Will should answer this one.
Yeah, well, and you know, I'm trying to think. B2. I know different countries have different levels or exams, so I'm not for sure exactly where B2 puts you, but just in your short interactions here online, you've done very well. And so I feel like you would be a strong candidate. And, you know, it really comes down to, yes, English proficiency is important, but once a student gets into our program, you know, there's other areas or other things that are also important, like, you know, a strong work ethic, managing your time, staying organized, making sure you attend class. Those are all very important. So it's not just all about English proficiency, yet I know there's a cutoff score, but I think you would make that cutoff score just from your conversational English that I've heard so far.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I think B2 would be upper intermediate in this case.
Very good. Yeah.
Okay, if there are no more questions, we can finish the webinar. And as we indicated, we will send everybody who's registered for the webinar and have their contact information, the recording of this webinar. A lot of registered users were unable to attend the webinar, so it's also an opportunity for them to learn about the program, even though they were unable to log in today and join us. And if you have any more questions, you can contact Leaf. You also have the AMS contact information available on your screen. And yeah, we will answer any and all of your questions. I think one of you had a question.
I have one more.
Yeah.
So is this responsible for me to pass the TOEFL?
I think the question was, are they responsible for passing the TOEFL exam? And so the answer to that is yes. That is one English proficiency exam that we accept. And we have a cutoff score of, for the internet-based test or exam for TOEFL, it is 78, I believe. We also accept Duolingo and IELTS exams. And so there's 3 different English proficiency exams that we do accept.
I have to write this in 7th grade. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. Good job.
Evie, I did want to point one thing out before we leave. I don't know how many of you noticed right behind my shoulder is the Georgian flag, and so I always proudly display that when I'm on my Zoom calls.
Yeah, thank you for that. Like, ever since our first online meeting, I noticed that. So. Always good. So Ani is asking, if I have passed an SAT exam, do I still have to pass IELTS or TOEFL?
Yes, unfortunately, you do still have to have an English proficiency exam of some sort. Now, you can add the SAT in as kind of a supplemental application material or document that we will review on our application committee. But we do, our university does require all international students to have some sort of English proficiency exam on file. So I'm betting, though, that if you did well on the SAT, I don't believe that you will have any issues, you know, making our cutoff score and being accepted into our program.
Yeah, absolutely. SAT is optional in this case, while TOEFL is not. And obviously, for, you know, maybe creating some kind of additional advantage, it might be a good idea to pass SAT if you're strong enough at that point. But TOEFL or IELTS is something that, for the purposes of this program, you have to pass.
And what subject should I pass?
Do you mean SAT subject tests, or?
Have I to pass only math?
Okay, can you please repeat the question?
What subject should I pass?
Oh, Givi, it looks like you're muted.
If I understand the question correctly, what subjects should I pass? If you mean SAT subject tests,
Yes.
none. They're not a requirement in order to apply to the pre-college program at Fort Hays State University. In order to apply for the AMS program, you need to have a TOEFL score, so a language proficiency test for sure. Optionally, you can take SATs and maybe I don't know, a math subject or anything STEM related subject, but that's only optional. And as Will has indicated, the admissions committee will look at it, but it's not a requirement for the application. Unlike some universities that do require passing of SAT or passing of a certain number of subject tests in certain areas. So you don't have to pass any subjects.
Thanks.
All right, I think. All right, I think there are no more questions at this point. And as I said, please don't hesitate to contact us if you do have any additional questions. Maybe after rewatching the webinar as a recording, some questions come up. And we will be here to answer all of your questions. I'd like to thank everyone for attending. Will, thank you very much for a very detailed presentation and detailed answers. It was very, very informative.
Thank you, Gibi. I appreciated being here, and it was a great experience. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.